Hey Virgos, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're gonna be taking a look at your second half of November general reading here. So in your meditation, it's really strong imagery, short and sweet. You know, I know you'll appreciate that. So I saw an image of, I was in the ocean and I heard the song Sailing. I don't know who originally sang it. It's like sailing takes me away, where it could be. And I don't remember who originally did it, but it was covered by NSYNC. So that should reveal my age a little bit. But I heard that song and I saw an image of a boat on a very stormy sea. And I then saw Jessbeinspired, the world serpent, which wrapped itself around, you know, the entirety of the world. What was making the ocean so rocky and the reason the boat was going back and forth like it was because it was bumping up against the body of Jessbeinspired. It's really interesting. And then I saw the boat kind of pause and be lifted up in one hand, and I saw like Poseidon, like the god of the sea, like from Greek mythology. And I saw Poseidon say to, it was like the Virgo collective on the boat, said, "How can I help?" And that was the meditation. So really, really interesting here. I'm excited to see what comes out for you. Just imagery wise, the ocean represents the unknown, right? Our subconscious, the path ahead that is not yet fully formed. It's about that call to adventure and being willing to embrace the unknown. Jessbeinspired is about emotional healing in the end of one cycle before beginning another, but needing to have an emotional release for that to really manifest, that you're not attracting the same things and the same lessons over and over and over. Poseidon being the god of the sea, I would equate him to the, I mean, he has such a sordid history. He's, you know, it's just Greek mythology is just like, even though I love it, it's really dark and, you know, hyper masculinized, but I would equate him to the King of Cups because he's the king of the sea, which is emotional equilibrium, emotional intelligence and balance. So really interesting imagery there. So let's go ahead and see what your cards say. Hey Virgos, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the second half of November. Animal energy for second half of November. Oh, my absolute favorite. I'm so happy to see this. Y'all, you got the moth. Really, really beautiful. Beautiful air energy. You may have heard me say before that Virgos are, you know, the most air signs of the earth signs. You guys are very much like Aquarians to me, who are more grounded. It's a compliment. So moth here, this is really stunning. You know, this represents transformation and change, death and rebirth. So it's interesting. Given that Jessbeinspired and the emotional cycles and not being able to begin a new chapter without finishing the old one, and then Poseidon, who we're going to cast as the King of Cups, is asking you, how can I help? So it feels like these tumultuous waters have a lot to do with your emotional landscape, or even the landscape of, you know, people around you that are in their emotions, or things just seem to be pretty choppy waters at the moment. What's interesting about the moth though, is that it knows how to cocoon. I feel like that's really coming up for you, Virgo. I feel like this is an aspect of the moth is able to look all beautiful and shine brightly because it took the time that it needed within the cocoon to grow and transform in its own time, in its own way, right? Why do I feel like you are living on or at the behest of a lot of other people's timetables or expectations? There's something about this, but it feels like the emotional waters within and around you could use a bit of landscaping. Let's see what's going on. You know, moth energy as well represents empaths. Yep, which speaks of feeling other people's feelings as your own, which doesn't feel great unless that's something you're consciously doing. If you're an intuitive reader like me, for example, or, you know, a counselor, but even then it's, you know, there can be a danger zone of taking those in as your own and, you know, feeling things that aren't necessarily yours to feel. So this could speak to a time of hypersensitivity as well on your part. So here you have the 9 of Swords. So I can't say I'm too surprised to see it. You have more air energy here. This is about sleepless nights, not being able to rest, nighttime anxiety, dreamtime messages. If we got the moon here as well, which is also connected to the moth, right? So this is our subconscious, what's in the darkness. Also equates it to the imagery of the ocean as well, because that also has to do with the subconscious and the unknown, right? So we've got this 9 of Swords here hanging over this lady. And then I don't know if you can see this, but she has 2 like vampire marks in her neck, which is interesting because vampire are the living dead, they're undead. But it's, what kills vampires outside of like, you know, wooden stakes or whatever have you? It's the sun. So I feel like there's certain things that are going on at night within your subconscious, going on within you, that really want to be brought into the light of day. And it's interesting because moths are nighttime animals, right? And then we have the nighttime here with the 9 of Swords. It's really fascinating, Virgo. Maybe not getting the best sleep. Karma, judgment, we got a major arcana here. So the tagline of this key is look back with pleasure. So what's really interesting about this is that this is what we need to do in order to graduate to the world key and end a given cycle. This is number 20. The last key in the major arcana is the world, comes right after this, number 21. So this is the final stopping point before you get off your given train. So it's very fascinating here that we were seeing that. Then we have this eclipsed sun here, making it look like a moon. And this is really about looking in the past and saying, does what I did before work? What would I like more of? And what would I like less of that I've experienced up until this point? Being clear on what that is. And that's what judgment is all about, or karma is all about, is getting clear so that you have full autonomy over your choices, that you're not being affected here by your subconscious, your worst case scenario thinking, or your fear base. I feel like you're being asked to expand your vision and really connect with the subconscious or darker hidden aspects of you that don't often get to see the light of day, because there's a lot of information in those. Also, pay attention to how you are feeling. Whenever the moth comes up, pay attention to how you are feeling. That is your best barometer. That's going to keep you from getting sick. Well, not always. Sometimes things are bigger than you, but for the most part, unless it's like a soul, you know, lesson related illness, right? Paying attention to how you're feeling and honoring it can keep you from, you know, getting sick when you don't need to, can help you from entering into agreements that are not in your highest and best good. Really pay attention to it, because your feelings during this time with the moth are going to be your best source of information. And ignore it to your peril, I even want to say. It sounds a bit dramatic, but have we met? What else is going on? Right, Virgo. Strength, don't you know? You know what's interesting about this? It's Leo energy, but it's just major arcana after major arcana. But what's interesting about this is that this is about making love-based choices over fear-based choices, right? But it's also about understanding that, yes, true strength is vulnerability, like Brene Brown says, but there's also a part of this that says, I understand that sometimes I need to walk in faith without necessarily knowing how things are going to turn out, and really honor what I'm feeling outside of having any physical evidence to back up, you know, what a potential is or an idea I have or my feelings, right? What I mean by this is when we look at the aspect of strength, it's about showing kindness, right? When it would be a lot easier to hate, or it's about making the hard choice, not the easy choice, right? It's about ascending to a higher level of you know, consciousness or balance or perspective, and going, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing, even when and especially when it's not the easy thing to do. And I feel like there is something here around that where I'm feeling a bit of like a taskmaster energy, where you're holding yourself to certain standards or guidelines or schedules that are just not working for you at this given time. The moth is not going to be able to handle a heavy load. It's going to weigh them down. And I feel like there's something coming through for you here that goes, even the lion gets a day off to take a snooze in the sun. And there's something about that. Here you have the moon, you have the eclipsed sun, and then you have the bright light of day, and then the moon casting its glow with the moth energy. You know, I really feel like you're being called to ask for help when and as you need it. And that is an aspect of strength as well. It's going, hey, I need some help. I need to take this time off. or I really need to have this discussion, or I really need to voice this fear, or I really need to make this change, right? But it really feels like I can see like an image of like a load breaking. And when you have 9 of Swords here, it's like you're really being asked, especially with karma, to really consider what you're doing that is working and what is not working. And then being willing, have the strength, have the reserves within you to show yourself enough love and consideration to be open to making those changes. But I feel like there's something that wants to be admitted to. Like I have to go and admit that this workload is too much for me and I'm not sleeping well. I have to admit that this job that I really thought that I wanted is not working out. I have to admit that the way that I'm going, I am not feeling physically well and I don't know how much longer I can go on this way. I have to admit that what I love to do is not what I'm doing and I'm not happy. Whatever this is. But there's something that wants to come into the light and you're being asked to really to examine your feelings around how to express this and be honest with yourself and or with others around you. But I feel like you're carrying more of a load than maybe is the best for you to be carrying at this given point in time, right? Because you're coming through as the moth, right? Let's get some advice. Let's get some advice, Virgos. Oh, 2 for 1, hello. Oh, really, really interesting. This came up in reverse. I'm gonna hold it in the upright for the sake of the visual. So your advice is the Priestess. So this is the High Priestess here. Do you see how she's connecting into her intuition, really sitting with her little crystal ball, being very fabulous and really listening to what is beneath the surface? The High Priestess is about diving into the subconscious or obtaining hidden information. It's very similar to going within the darkness and bringing into light the reality of things, right? So this is saying connect in. It's everything that we've been talking about. Connect in, listen to your feelings, be still. Don't be afraid to traverse your inner landscape because those seas are choppy and there's some emotional clearing that wants to happen or else we wouldn't see Jormungandr making the boat go crazy in the water and Poseidon is the King of Cups saying, how can I help? You know, I'm getting the image of a therapist as well. For some of you, that could be very helpful just to have someone to talk things through with, to bring things out into the light, where with someone who doesn't have a pony in the race or doesn't have any vested interest, or a close friend or family member or your partner, and really talking things, saying, listen, I haven't said anything about this, but I'm feeling some type of way inside, or I haven't said anything, but I'm really not sleeping well. I have really bad anxiety, or hey, I'm really feeling like I don't want to repeat the past. Can we just talk this through? Because strength is also allowing others to be there for you. Just as they allow you to be there for them, right? Then you also have the 9 of Pentacles here. Now here's why I'm obsessed with this. Now this came out in the reverse, remember. So the 9 of Pentacles traditionally is someone who is an entrepreneur, someone who works very hard and really appreciates the fruits of all their hard work and labor, right? It's enjoying time alone, it's financial independence, it's success, it's feeling great, being connected to your soul purpose and making money at it. It's brilliant. But I love how this is depicted here. She's sleeping with 2 mice, which are 2 of Pentacles. I'm hearing, can you please take a break, take a rest, take a time off? Because both, you got a sleeping person and then a person sitting with their eyes closed. Then you got somebody who can't sleep in bed. We can't see their full faces. Lion's got its eyes closed. And a moth knows how to cocoon. The fact that this was in reverse is I'm really hearing to take a load off, take the weight off, allow yourself this time, really go within and be with yourself. And if you need an excuse, not that you need one, but if you did need one, we are going towards the end of the year here, right? So it is a somewhat socially acceptable time to do less, start winding down the workload, and really give yourself this time of perspective and peace and rest that you need, because it does feel like it is very well needed. I feel like there is not enough resting happening. Not enough resting happening in some way, shape, or form. This could be literally not getting enough sleep, or this could be not getting your emotional needs met and it's just all work, or it's just all this. But there's something coming in here and it's really being called to rest, balance, and know that by doing so, you're going to be able to 2 of Pentacles a lot better on the other side of it, which is that juggling work life, personal life, and multitasking, right? please cocoon in some way, shape, or form is what's coming across here. I feel like you really are being called to cocoon and go within. Let's get an oracle. Oh my Lord. I look beyond the facade. Instincts, attention, links, and the third eye. First of all, this is third eye every day, all day, because the third eye is the seeing eye. That is the high priestess. I'm here for it. That represents her third eye right there. I'm so obsessed with that for you. Instincts, attention, links, the third eye. I look beyond the facade. What were we talking about? About vision, what's obstructed, what's hidden, bringing it out into the light. I look beyond the facade. You are being called to go within and really be honest with yourself about what your emotional landscape is, how your physical health is, what's going on with you internally. Really, really, really be honest with yourself, because Links medicine is also about secrets as well. And the secrets that we have from ourselves, how we can fool ourselves, how we can lie to ourselves, how we don't like to admit the truth of things sometimes, right? Because it can be very scary. It can put us in a vulnerable position. And it's just not fun, right? But there's something here that's really calling out for your attention. You're being asked to go within and really be honest with yourself around it. Again, the key being beside and going, how can I help? Whether this is through therapy, talking to a close friend, talking to a trusted person, but it's really time to excavate what's inside and do so within the greater purpose of creating a cocoon for yourself for which you can heal and reach that emotional equilibrium so that you can move on to a new cycle. Something is not working though, and it's coming up for your attention, okay? But you absolutely got this, Virgos. Remember, when Moth is here, you're in a time of transformation, and you totally got this. It's just about how the best way to go about doing so, and a way that is most gentle, right? That didn't look too bad, does it? With that being said, I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I love reading your comments. Also, there's some drama going on with YouTube where they're unsubscribing people from the channel who are not liking and commenting on the videos. I don't know why they're doing it. They just start, it's like a policy they have where if you don't interact, then they unsubscribe you. So if you'd like to stay subscribed, you can leave an emoji, a smiley face, whatever in the comments, and please like this video to stay subscribed. Also, the link to sign up for my Be Your Own Intuitive membership is in the description box below. I'd love for you to join that wait list. I'm really excited. And lastly, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And most of all, and as always, thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.